The word machinima is defined as the art of making animated narrative films using video games and their engines. The most commonly used are Garry's Mod and Source Filmmaker, but it can also just be any game. For example, one of the most popular machinima series by the name of Red vs. Blue was made in Halo. Machinimas were really popular back in the day on the internet, but as the content changed and YouTube shifted into the mainstream, it kind of died out, along with the term machinima itself. Garry's Mod machinimas were definitely the most popular ones, as anyone could get into it. Even I made some back in the day. The most popular examples are videos made by Kitty0706 like Team Fabulous 2 or the Gmod Idiot box made by Dasbo Shit. But recently you might have heard of Skibidi Toilet. And yes, I know it's a series disliked by a lot of people, but if you put aside the annoying fanbase and memes, you can see that it's a very well crafted series with a lot of effort put into it. The later entries are crafted with a lot of effort, and it's not something that couldn't be easily produced for it to just be brain rot. Of course, the mainstream took the word Skibidi Toilet and used it without even knowing what it actually means. Putting that aside, as someone who used to watch a lot of machinimas, it made me happy that this kind of content is becoming popular again. It kind of feels like a small part of the old internet is coming back. But I'm not here to talk about Skibidi Toilet. I'm here to talk about a machinima series that to me is the best one ever made, that rivals a lot of high production series even made today, due to its clever writing and amazing characters. I'm here to talk about a machinima series by the name of Leet World.
You talk about domination, but have you ever caressed her spine with your fingertips? Bedded her for the night or gotten lost in her beauty? Not so fast.
1 second you hate the whole team, now you're in love with it, it's the best plan ever. Get over it.
Look, Cortez isn't the bad guy.
You're an inconsequential speck that has blemished my show for too long.
You're all washed up, and I've outgrown you.
Maybe I'd lighten up if I wasn't always in danger of getting killed, Poe. What are we even doing here anymore, man?
You shut your mouth, I'll shut you up in this hole for a week. Don't you test me. Yes, the old man thirsts for blood.
I think this is something big. This might be the last piece of the puzzle.
Leet World was created by Smallview Films, a group of friends passionate about film, games, and machinimas. The show is a quote-unquote reality series, featuring terrorists and counter-terrorists from Counter-Strike living in a house together, participating in challenges and competitions. It was released in 2007 and ended in 2009. It was made using both Garry's Mod and Counter-Strike Source. Garry's Mod was used sparingly, primarily when something couldn't be depicted in Counter-Strike. The series may look amateurish in some ways. Much of the animation is rigid and can appear repetitive, since the character models can't be animated to talk. Instead, they've moved their heads up and down while they spoke. However, it's impressive when you consider the difficulty of synchronizing the characters' movements with the voice lines. This task becomes even more challenging when multiple characters are involved. And all of this was done in-game with nothing but the players in the server, with one of them using spectator mode to record everything. Despite these limitations, the series manages to be incredibly engaging, with an added nostalgic charm that grows on you. The camera composition and angles are surprisingly good, making the dialogues between characters dynamic and at times cinematic. It's not surprising that Smallview Films went on to create another reality TV series, but in real life after working on the show. This showcases their filmmaking talent across different types of media.
Ah, old man, come to join me at last? Perhaps you can explain why I'm caged like a burro.
I suspect you've been lying to us all. For instance, I don't think you're actually blind.
Son of a bitch, pinche!
The heart of Leet World lies in its characters. While many of them are stereotypical, they are brought to life by its clever writing, with friendships and rivalries developing and each character gaining more depth as the series goes on. On the one side, we have the counter-terrorist team. Westheimer is a by-the-book leader focused on efficiency and leading his team into victory. He is also a massive boomer.
Kids these days, playing your videos and your games and your Grand Theft Autos.
Leroy is the gamer stereotype. He is also named after a character from an old viral World of Warcraft meme.
Alright, thumbs up. Ready, guys? Let's do this. Leroy!
He could also be considered the main protagonist. As the series progresses, he builds his own computer lair and gradually uncovers the mystery behind the whole show. Chet is the stereotypical frat bro who approaches the show like one big college party. His defining characteristic is his loyalty to his friend Player. And Player is the most unique character. He doesn't talk, but communicates through chat, using leet speak, a popular writing style in the gaming community back in the day, where letters were replaced with numbers and symbols. It's very similar to how weebs use WOOOOOORLD. But what I like about this is that it reflects the time when the show was made. It adds more to its nostalgic appeal.
QFT? Does that even mean anything? Or are you just typing random letters?
On the other side, we have the terrorist team. Cortez is the leader of the group. He also has the most fleshed out backstory. Cortez was part of an infamous terrorist group before being betrayed and losing his sight. Now his team sees him as a shadow of his former self and questions his competence as a leader. Also, he's constantly fixated on proving himself as a badass.
This'll be a great accent wall. Como? What is an accent wall? Does it look badass? Yes, it looks very badass. Then we will make them all accent walls.
Montrose is the flamboyant member of the group and also a big comic relief character. He tries to keep both teams friendly, considering everyone as his friend. But at first it might seem the show portrays him as a typical gay character who's only there for jokes about how he's gay. But in reality is a well-written character who isn't treated in a demeaning way, which is quite progressive for 2007.
Make sure it is buried deep within.
Look, it's hidden better than Montrose's masculinity, alright?
Well, in that case, it should be bitch slapping you all over the place.
Ellis is the redneck with a confrontational, no bullshit attitude, always saying exactly what he thinks. Also, I confirmed that he's from Alabama.
Hopefully better than you know how to satisfy a woman, Alice?
Hey, my second cousin told me that—
Wait, stop right there.
Ahmad is upbeat and a bit naive. He's the noob of the group, often not taken seriously by his teammates, which later causes him to drift away from them.
Maybe I should do the CTs a favor. Maybe I'd be better off without you guys.
Nobito, listen to me. Think about what you are saying.
You know exactly what I'm saying, Cortez. You're all washed up, and I've outgrown you.
What makes these characters more than just one-note stereotypes are the relationships they form among themselves. Westheimer and Leroy have a father-son dynamic, with Westheimer trying to get his nerdy son outdoors and relate to him. He sees potential in Leroy and wants to help him become a more competent soldier. Leroy doesn't follow by the rules, so we can view him as the rebellious teenager. Cortez and Ahmad have a student-mentor relationship, with Ahmad constantly looking up to Cortez and boosting his ego by calling him a badass.
If you can hear me, and I know you can, buddy, kick his ass. Also, your sunglasses make you look awesome.
Does he have some kind of learning disability?
Cortez in turn teaches Ahmad to become a stronger team member, making Cortez a more empathetic character. Chet and Player are brothers to the death, always having each other's backs. Their relationship is the epitome of bromance.
I don't hate you, dude. Quit being a bitch. Dude, that was like 3 hours ago. It's changed. Alright, dude, real talk, okay? You've got to quit being a bitch.
Montrose and Ellis seem like they hate each other on the surface, but in reality they're great friends, always together and often seen teasing each other.
And what have you ever acted in before, man?
Well, I did play Puck in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Whatever the hell that means. It's probably not even a real movie.
Well, we can't all star in redneck humping, can we? Oh wait, that was a documentary. Burned, bitch.
And the most prominent dynamic is the intense rivalry between the two leaders, Westheimer and Cortez. which builds the tension and suspense throughout the whole show. These relationship dynamics make the show so much more interesting as the characters face various situations that challenge and develop their relationships. Of course, I looked at it on a surface level. To fully explain why it works, I would have to recap every episode, and I'm not gonna do a stupid essay like that.
You've got some answering to do, all of you. And who in the f*** are you?
This series features an original soundtrack and several intros, which was an impressive feat for that time. The music obviously enhances a lot of the emotional impact of many scenes. I don't know how I would describe the genre. At points, it sounds like a typical soundtrack to a TV show, and at other times, it completely takes over the scene. The voice acting is also excellent, with many characters voiced by the same people, also having different accents.
Hey, have you guys seen Cortez? Jumpin' Jehoshaphat!
It's so well done that it's hard to tell that it's the same voice actor at all. A great example of how these elements come together is the character of the producer.
But now, the real fun begins. The testing, the entertainment, the drama.
His monotone, creepy voice, coupled with his theme song, perfectly conveys the mystery surrounding his character. They also made the perfect choice of using the G-Man from Half-Life 2 for his character, who also has the same enigmatic way about him. The producer is the driving force behind much of this show's drama. For example, he introduces a challenge that is literally just the contestants doing chores around the house. But even from this seemingly mundane task, a lot of drama unfolds. The producer's enigmatic nature and his role in orchestrating events add a layer of mystery that keeps the series interesting. One of the most interesting aspects of Leet World is the Death Room. It's a white, empty space with a television in it. Initially, it was only used for characters to spectate the match after they die during the competitions. But later on, it gets explored, which uncovers its eerie and liminal nature. This was made before backrooms became a thing. Now it's just oversaturated by the internet with low-effort horror content. Leet World was way ahead of its time. The Death Room is always hinted as something bigger in the series. If, for example, any of the contestants die during the competitions, they respawn. But if they die in the Death Room, no one really knows. Leet World masterfully keeps many elements of the story hidden, maintaining the viewer's curiosity without revealing everything at once. It constantly makes you question what is truly going on, and uses the liminal space to captivate and intrigue the audience.
The sooner the scum is out of my sight and out of my house, the better. Start our first challenge tomorrow.
The challenges are the most exciting episodes of Leet World. This is where the teams are finally put against each other, just like in an actual Counter-Strike match. These episodes often serve as a culmination of prior events, where built-up conflicts and relationships come to a head. The competitions are intense, and the consequences are later explored in the following episodes. This is also where the infamous Death Room first appears.
I see you got owned.
We'll still win.
Want to put some money on that?
I'll bet you $50.
I'll bet you 15,000.
This is what I love about this series. It always feels like this story is pushing forward. There are no filler episodes, and every entry contributes to the story and character development, with competitions serving as the climax of ongoing narrative arcs. And there's the mystery of the producer and the Death Room looming over the entire show throughout. I purposefully didn't spoil the series because I want people to watch it and understand why I'm making this video. Leet World ends at season 2, and I think it provides a perfect conclusion to the story. But in 2014, we got a teaser for what seemed to be season 3, fully animated in Source Filmmaker, with more detail, varied environments, and most importantly, updated models that could actually move their fucking mouths. After the teaser, Smoothview Films kept the hype going by posting monthly updates, sharing their excitement and ideas for the series moving forward.
The love scene that me and Daniel have been planning for Ellis and Montrose, that we've been working on for about 5 years now, it's going to be really hardcore.
We even got a longer trailer showcasing all the characters. And I just love this shot so much. It's a perfect example of what I talked about earlier, how the characters have distinct personalities and what is now enhanced by the animation. Montrose is absolutely slaying, Player is crouching like a weirdo, and you can see Leroy holding a gun in a unconfident pose. And of course Ahmad looks around and cuts the moment short.
Sweet! Looking badass with my best friends!
Really, bro?
This shot shows that the creators hadn't lost touch and knew exactly how to push the series to a higher quality. But eventually the updates stopped and Smoothview Films went quiet. There's a comment underneath the trailer from someone claiming that they talked to them and confirmed that the season was cancelled. Wait, is that the fucking Skibidi Toilet guy? It's a shame because it looked so promising. And to be honest, after the conclusion of season 2, I have no idea where they could have taken the story. But what we saw showed potential, and its cancellation really sucks. Leet World is a shining example of the golden age of the internet. It was a series made by a small group of people with no budget, no fame or material related expectations, and no higher ups telling what to change and how to do things. Smoothview Films only had one goal, and it's to entertain people. And in my opinion, they did that flawlessly. At the end of the day, I'm not sad that Leet World didn't get a season 3. As I mentioned before, the story wrapped up perfectly. I'm more sad that something being made like this is not really possible today. YouTube and the whole internet is nothing like they used to be. Nowadays, you have to upload as frequently as possible, use clickbait, and talk about trending topics to get any sort of attention at all. Making a series like this is not really impossible, it's just very difficult. And most people today would rather not go through all that effort. Also a fun fact, a long time ago I recreated the first 2 episodes in Source Filmmaker, but I eventually deleted them. But I remember some Russian channel taking those 2 animations and putting a Russian dub over them, and I can't really find them either now. All I can find is this really shitty intro that I made. That's just something I wanted to share. For me, Leet World is a series I kept rewatching every 2 years. And at first I didn't understand it because I was just a kid. And every few years I understood it more and more as my English improved. And now not only I can understand it, I can even analyze it more deeply. I can tell that the show has really good writing, characters, voice acting, and music. This is why I'm making this video. Compared to a lot of high production media like Netflix or other TV shows, Leet World can stand above or beside them, at least in the writing department. Of course I'm exaggerating, but it's a free 2-season series made in 2007 and released for free on YouTube. So can you really blame me? Back then, barely anything was this well made. That's why I'm impressed with Leet World, and I had to share the show with you. I hope that Smoothview Films are proud of what they made, because to me and a lot of other people, their series is an important part of our childhood and still entertains us to this day. Whatever they're doing today, I hope they're using their creative talents that they used to make Leet World, and that I will get to see that one day. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay smooth.
And
And remember. Thank you for watching. And remember, oh my fucking god, dude.